Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fine Blue Ridge Silverhound coin collecting episode. I'm your host, Sean. Welcome. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe. Get this video out there. Let people know that coin collecting is not only fun, educational, but also can be a way of making money. Okay, probably not the most important thing, but just the hobby is absolutely fantastic. So I want to introduce a new segment on Blue Ridge Silverhound. It's called simply Inheritance Treasure. Now, with Inheritance Treasure, okay, there are a few things that I wanted to kind of put out there first, so that way we understand what the gist of this particular segment is going to be from this point forward. Inheritance treasure might encompass coins that maybe has been passed down to you at one point or another. Maybe it's been given to you by a loved one, a friend, a relative, whether they're still around or they've gone to Valhalla. I guess there's no really easy way of saying that, but at one point or another, usually coins over time, they ended up getting passed down to a loved one. They get passed down from that loved one's loved one, and you just keep going. It's a cycle that we've seen that goes back many generations. So I wanted to put this out there. This is not going to be one of those videos where it's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and check our change, make sure that we find this coin. Although the topic coin today, okay, is a very interesting coin that a lot of people really do know about, but in some aspects is kind of put on the back burner in terms of, I really need to check my collection to make sure I have one of these, or maybe I don't have one. What's it all about? Well, I'm happy to say that today's featured coin is going to be the 1914D Lincoln Wheat Cent. If you were to look back in history of the Lincoln series as to what the top 5 coins to own, that's not a variety, that's not an error, the 1914D is going to be right up there among the most elite dates of coins in history of this particular series. And what I wanted to do is talk a little bit about not only the coin itself and what it represents and how these things were produced. I also wanted to bring up a number of featured sales that have sold in the last 12 months. These are all going to be recent sales, so a lot of the data that you're going to receive today is all pretty current. We're not going to be talking about stuff that sold 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It really doesn't make sense in terms of the market value of this particular coin. But I wanted to throw that out there, that the 1914D is one of the consummate chase pieces in coin collecting, let alone the Lincoln series, which, by the way, is the most widely collected, the most popular series of coins that anyone gets into when they start collecting coins. So, let's talk a little bit about the 1914D. Well, first and foremost, it's got a itsy bitsy teeny weeny mintage. 1,193,000 pieces were produced, okay, effectively making it one of the more rare dates in the series. Of course, the 1909 SVDB has a lower mintage. The 1931S has a lower mintage, albeit the 31S, people knew that it was going to be a rare date. So a lot of those coins were pulled out of circulation right away and saved. And that's why a lot of those particular coins are available in high grades, okay, which affects the value. Okay, they're not worth nearly as much in those higher mint state grades than a 1914D. So this is a coin, ladies and gentlemen, that is effectively worth anywhere from about $100 to as high as over $150,000. Okay, so there's quite a bit of a spread between the lowest price and what is reported to be like a record amount of money for this coin. So what I figure is the best way of tackling this thing is to talk about the lowest grade coin that you might expect to find. Okay, I've been passed down a Lincoln Cent album over 10 years ago, and I'm happy to say that I have received a 1914D in this collection. Okay, this was one that my grandmother had owned. She wasn't really into the whole coin thing, but she picked up a few albums, and there were some coins that were inserted in there. Not the greatest of shapes, but a coin that I received looks something similar to the one that you see on screen here. And this one is a 1914D that was graded NGC very good 8. Okay, and just for kicks, it says brown too. Like, you know, when a coin gets down to this grade level, they're all pretty brown. Let's be honest. But this is a coin right here that sold for $123.75 on Great Collections, September 8th of 2019. So a few days ago. Keeping in mind that as you're going through albums and you're looking through your collection, more times than not, your coin is going to appear to look like this. Okay, it's going to be in that AG to maybe fine condition, which is par for the course for this particular date. It's a coin that was never hoarded upon release in high mint state grades. It was a very circulated coin, especially during the teens and 20s when the economy was depressed and the nation was just struggling financially. The people were struggling and they were spending these coins. It would not be out of the question that this coin has been through many thousands of hands during its lifetime. So this is kind of like the typical grade for this coin, but I'm happy to say even in this state they have a lot of desirability. The coin is worth in excess of $100, okay, if it's straight grades. Now, the cool thing about this coin in this particular grade is you don't necessarily have to grade it. All right, it's a coin that speaks all on its own. What you will have to be kind of cautious about is, because this is one of the consummate key dates in the series, this is a coin that also has been counterfeited a number of times. So you'll want to, and what I did is, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you an image of a coin that was counterfeit. You're going to want to take a look at it, because this is the most common counterfeit measure that some of these unscrupulous individuals are utilizing to pass fake 1914Ds as genuine. So it's pretty interesting. It's very clear cut, very dry. You'll know exactly what you're looking for, but keep an eye out for even the counterfeit examples. I found a few and I know exactly what I was looking for. So don't have the wool pulled over your eyes on that one. So if we were going to take another step up in terms of grade of this coin, okay, you're going to see the coin that you have here. It's another 14D, obviously. However, this one is an NGC VF35 brown. Okay, still we're in the brown realm. And this is a coin that sold on Great Collections August 11th of 2019 for $354.38. Now, what you're going to notice, okay, the Lincoln series has only been out for 5 years, okay, so the U.S. Mint has been working on this project of theirs and really kicking it off, and it was successful at the very, very beginning, and they really cared about the quality of the first couple years right out of the gate. Now, when you get to 1914, all of a sudden, they didn't care as much about the overall look and the strength of the die details which struck these coins. If you looked at this 1914D, this coin doesn't look really VF, especially on the obverse. The strike is very mushy, okay, which is, again, typical for that date, all right, and that's unfortunate, but it also creates a lot of challenge in trying to find the most well-struck coins for that grade level. This one right here, I'd say, would be just plain acceptable for a VF35. $350 is all the money in the world for this particular grade, but the coin on the front of the coin looks like a VG. It's crazy, okay? These things were, again, mushy. They didn't pass up a lot of the details like you would normally see in 1909 and 1910. But, you know, if you're looking for an acceptable example for your collection that's not going to, like, really break the bank, this is a grade that a lot of people gravitate towards. So we're starting to get into some pretty serious grades. Okay, this example here is a Pcgs Au 53. All right, so it's seen a little bit of circulation wear, okay? So the coin, again, the strike is nothing to write home to mother about. Although the reverse details, the lines on the wheat stalks look a lot more crisp on this example. But this is a coin that's sold on Great Collections August 11th of 2019 in the amount of $1,109.25. Now we're starting to get into some serious money. This coin, even though it's sold for over $1,000, is plentiful in this grade. So if you're looking for that AU 50 all the way up to AU 58, I'm happy to say that if you're looking for a marquee coin, all right, to help kind of provide that statement for your collection, this is what you would expect to pay. Okay, this, alternatively, this is what you would expect to get. Now, keep in mind, with this grade level, you are going to have to send it out to a third-party authenticator. Again, there's no pulling wool over anybody's eyes. You simply send it there to get it authenticated to make sure that it is real. Okay, there's no top pop. We're not, talking about that on this particular grade level. It's just simply people need to know that it's real before they spend $1,000, $1,500 on this key date coin. So the next coin I want to talk about is one that we have stepped up tremendously in the grading department, and this one is a PCGS Mint State 65 full red. It looks good. This is a coin that if you were putting together a high-end set of Lincoln pennies, this is probably the grade that you would shoot for. This one sold a few days ago on Heritage Auctions during their Long Beach sale in the amount of $11,400. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a $10,000 to $15,000 coin, all dependent on the overall eye appeal of the coin. Now, it's a full red coin, but keep in mind, when you get to these earlier kind of like 1910s and 1920s coins, there can be a little bit of brown. This coin, compared to the next one I'm going to show you to kind of wrap it up, this one right here has little spatterings of kind of like a hint of brown in there, but there's still a lot of red left to be considered a full red coin. But this right here, if you found one of these in like that old album that was passed down to you, keep in mind, wear them gloves, send it out to get authenticated, and then you will have a coin that I would say right here, this is life-changing money. Okay, anything over $10,000 off of one coin is life-changing money. So keep an eye out for something like this. So we're going to end it off on the highest graded 1914D. And this was a coin that was featured on Legend Morphe's Regency 26 auction last year. Okay, May of 2018 to be exact. Now this is a PCGS Mint State 66 Plus full red. It doesn't look like it on the picture. That's only because that these coins aren't known for their high luster. The luster kind of takes a hit during the mid-1910s when it comes to these Lincoln cents. Okay, they look more matte finish than anything else, which is crazy. But it's not a proof. They didn't make proofs in Denver. So this one right here is the top grade. All right, this is the finest grade. There is nothing finer. If there was, we'd be talking about a $500,000 coin in most instances, because of how difficult it is to even find one at this grade level. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a coin that sold back May of last year for $158,625. Talk about life-changing money. This will buy a house. All right, this will buy a new car, pay off bills, you name it. If you find one of these in your collection, okay, whether it's in that old album or maybe it's in an old encapsulation or perhaps in one of those old little yellow envelopes that you see so much in old collections, you might want to send this and send it certified mail, covered for the entire amount of money. It's crazy. But this is a coin right here that probably one of the few dates in the entire Lincoln series where you have such a tremendous spread from a low dollar figure to the highest. Okay, you don't see it that often. Maybe the 1909 SVDB might be the other outlier in all of this, and maybe perhaps the 1922 plain no mint mark. But this one right here, guys, is the cream of the crop in terms of just overall value up, from the lowest grade to the highest grade. It is tremendous. So if you find one of these, congratulations, you have a very valuable coin. And finally, I wanted to address the 500-pound pink elephant in the room, and that's going to be counterfeits. The most commonly method of counterfeiting a 1914D, if you go on eBay at any given time, you're bound to find a few of these. What people are doing to pass fake 1914s for genuine is that they're taking 1944D Lincoln cents and they're simply shaving off the crossbars of the first four in the date. Take a look at this coin right here. Okay, one thing you'll notice is that there is a lot of real estate between the 9 and that second one. Okay, so the 9 and the 1. That's how you know that the digit has been shaved down to a 1. Okay, furthermore, take a look at the mint mark. The mint mark does not match the same design detail as what is supposed to be on a 1914D. Usually the Denver mint mark on this coin, okay, is going to appear a lot tinier. They're not going to have like these huge bulging serifs on there. And usually it's going to sit just south of the 9 in the date. So as you're going through your coins, don't be surprised if you find one and it kind of looks like this. I mean, this one is so well struck for the date that it automatically sends out red flags and alarms all over the place. But that is kind of the main way that counterfeits are being passed. Now, people are also doing other things too. They're adding mint marks to genuine 1914 Philadelphia coins, which those can be tricky. Those can be tricky, but you also want to keep an eye out for the actual placement of the mint mark, in addition to getting underneath a magnifier or getting on a magnifier and looking at the coin to actually see the details of the mint mark. So that pretty much wraps it up. Sorry it took so friggin' long. I mean, this is a really good date of Lincoln Penny, in which it carries a lot of value from the lowest to the highest. You guys, go ahead and check out some of those old albums, old collections. I'm not gonna kid you. Okay, this traditionally does not come up in coin rolls and pocket change, although it has been discovered in both. Okay, I can attest to that because I have a friend that has found one in really low grade. And then on the forum pages, we've seen a few of them also come up in coin roll hunting. Again, keep an eye out for these in your collection. You never know when the next big thing is going to show up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry to keep it so long-winded. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Like, share, subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications if you enjoy this video. You guys enjoy collecting. Keep hunting, and I'll talk to you guys next time.